Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Kyle Downey, and this is Sports Download, the show where a Los Angeles native talks sports from a fan's perspective. I might not be unbiased, but I keep it honest and real with you. So I want to start off today's show with the sad news of former retired NFL running back Alex Collins dying at the age of 28 in a motorcycle crash. Which is really unfortunate, and thoughts and prayers to his family and friends and the whole NFL family that happened over the weekend on Sunday. And I wanted to share something I saw that his former coach with the Ravens, John Harbaugh, said. Alex was a joy to be around and someone whose light shined brightly. I'll always remember him for being a great teammate who had an uplifting spirit that impacted everyone he encountered. He was also a smart player who ran with unlimited determination, and he contributed a lot to our success during his time in Baltimore. He was a running back. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but really, really devastating. And thoughts and prayers with his family and friends. And yeah, just wanted to share that. Okay, and let's just wanted to share that, and let's transition into talking about some more sports topics. So a lot happened over the weekend. A lot happened over the past couple weeks. I haven't talked to y'all. So remember last episode I talked about Anthony Davis possibly getting his extension done, and it got done quick in a hurry. The Lakers offered him the extension the first day that they could on a Friday, and then he signed it. And it was 3 years, $186 million, just about. And that's a crazy amount of money. And I know a lot of people have issues with the amount of money. It's just how much these teams make nowadays, and now that these contracts and just the way the salary cap is going up, and the thing to look at is if you're a fan and you're worried about how much he's making, it's only a percentage of the cap, and as the cap goes up, it's going to be less of a percentage of the cap. So he's the type of guy that, yeah, he's got injury history, but you got to lock him up. He's an excellent player when he's healthy, and hopefully he'll be healthy, and hopefully he can retire a Laker, I hope. Because I really like Anthony Davis, and hopefully we could pair him up with somebody like Jason Tatum down the line when LeBron retires. But yeah, he's the type of guy that you sign because he's a great player and he's very professional. So he's the type of guy that you give that type of money to. Crazy amount of money, but the cap is going to continue to go up. I just hope that the middle class NBA players don't get squeezed long term, which some of them have gotten squeezed because of the new cap rules. I don't like how the new CBA rules. I don't like those. I mentioned those, but anyway, I digress. And the next thing that came out recently was Darvin Ham spoke with ESPN, somebody from ESPN. I believe he's overseas in Johannesburg for like an NBA event. Must be like Basketball Without Borders or something like that. But he said, absolutely, I think we're a championship team. We have leadership like LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Some of the talent we were able to bring back in Rui Hachimura, Austin Reaves, and D'Angelo Russell. Then you think about the guys we added in Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes. I think the sky's the limit for what we will be able to do. I think we added a lot of depth, a lot of guys that have skill, size, and athleticism. So I look forward to all of that coming together. And then he went on to say that a lot of luck has to go into being a great team, and that togetherness, and he's big on togetherness. And then when you have a great team, what can put you over the top is togetherness and chemistry and things of that nature, to sum up what he was saying. And I agree with him. I think that, Denver's obviously the best team in the league, but they took a hit by a couple of the guys that they left, and you got to say the Lakers are top 5 because they kept their team together that already was a top four seed and went to the Western Conference Finals. So I think you go into this season, they're a championship contender, and I think have to be they have to be a top 6 seed, obviously, to avoid the play-in. I'd like that, or a top 5 or 4. They're not going to shoot for number 1 seed because LeBron is older. He's going to have to load manage. AD gets hurt sometimes. He's going to have to load manage. But I definitely would put them as a championship contender. So I agree with Darvin Ham yet again that I definitely would put the Lakers as a championship contender. And you go into the regular season, like I said, try to get a top 6 seed. The higher the better, but I know they're going to load manage. And then, you're going to eventually face Denver. So you're going to have to figure out ways to scheme around. You can't stop Jokic, but you got to be able to try to slow him down. Anthony Davis is going to have to be strong and going to have to be healthy and be at peak performance. The one thing I would say about the Lakers is Reaves continue to work on his jumper. He's looking great with the USA team. Work on your handle, Reaves, and everybody else. Work on your shooting and everything you need to work on. Vando, working on attacking the basket and hitting wide open layups and mid-range shots and the corner 3 if possible. And AD, I need to see him shoot some threes and work on that. Hopefully over the summer he's working on that. Work on that jumper, because you need to be a decent threat behind the 3, because that's the only thing that AD is missing. He's an excellent defender, excellent offensive player. The only thing he's missing is that his jump shot has not gone in over the last couple seasons, and he never was a great 3-point shooter, but he was decent, and now he's no longer decent. So if he could improve his 3-pointer, he could be the best player in the league, MVP. I saw also that Kevin Garnett was saying that he should be the MVP because he can do everything Jokic and Embiid can do offensively and defensively, except hit the 3 as much. Jokic has turned himself into a sharpshooter, and he's difficult to defend. So I think that the only thing is AD is missing that 3-pointer, and if he can incorporate that, he could be the best player in the league. I don't care if he's the MVP. I just want him to possibly be the finals MVP or take us to the finals and win the championship. I don't care about those individual awards. I think he kind of does a little bit, but the award he most cares about is Defensive Player of the Year. And good gravy. Hopefully they give it to him someday, because he's definitely the best defensive player in the league right now. But yeah, I don't care if he's the MVP. I see that all the time on Twitter and stuff like that, and I don't care. I just want them to win the championship. Who cares who gets the MVP or not? I mean, they should have gave it to LeBron in 2020 and they didn't. So who cares about those? They don't give Lakers regular season awards anyway. They didn't give Pelinka the executive award when he won the championship. So who cares about those anyway? Excuse me. Also, Jeanie Buss told Sportskeeda that LeBron will have his jersey retired because he's a Hall of Famer. Obviously we saw that Pau got his jersey retired because he's going in the Hall of Fame. And shout out to Pau. Pau went into the Hall of Fame, as did Dwayne Wade, Greg Popovich, and Tony Parker. There's a great Hall of Fame class, all well deserved, and also Becky Hammond. But yeah, obviously LeBron's gonna get his jersey retired. And shout out to Jeanie Buss. I also saw she went on the Big Baby Sports YouTube, so check out him, Big Baby Sports on YouTube. He's a subscriber of mine, so shout out to him, and shout out to Jeanie Buss for going on there. That's awesome. She had a nice interview and conversation on there, so check that out if y'all want to see Jeanie Buss do another interview, which is it's cool to see. Cool to see Jeanie Buss getting out there and doing interviews. So I heard people talking about, will LeBron get a statue, and some people don't think so. I think obviously the Kobe statue comes first, and I heard a rumor that it might come out next year in August 8th, 2024. I don't know if that's possible, but can't wait. They said it might include Gigi as well. That would be beautiful. He deserves a statue, and I think they're just gonna make sure that it's perfect, that it can perfectly honor Kobe, and if it honors Gigi as well, that's incredible. It will be amazing. But so yeah, Kobe's statue comes first. I think it's possible LeBron could get a statue. I think that I'm not. I know it's a harder criteria, but I think just because LeBron is widely considered one of the best players ever, and the debate whether he's number 2 or number 1. To me, I go Jordan, then Kobe, then LeBron, just because I saw Kobe in his prime and he's like Jordan, so that's my list. But no disrespect to LeBron, I was just a Lakers fan and a Kobe fan, and love Kobe. I got a tattoo of the Mamba logo with the Mamba snake around it in his honor. So no disrespect to LeBron there, but so to me, I think because Shaq has a statue. Shaq did win 3 titles, but he was not a lifer like Kobe. And Jerry West won 1 title, but he was a lifer, so he has a statue. So I think it all depends. I think to me, I understand it's not a no-brainer that he gets a statue like the jersey, but I would personally be good with him get LeBron getting a statue, because LeBron he's been on 3 different teams, and he took us to the title. But also, I remember we couldn't even get a meeting with Kevin Durant, and the fact that LeBron not only met with us, but he chose to come here. Obviously, I understand he had business that he wanted to tend to as well, but he still wanted to win, and that's proof in the way he's acted and the way he helped us win a championship, and the way he's acted since he's been here. So to me, I think wanting to be a Laker means a lot, considering that there's a lot of people that want to be a Laker, but wanting to be a Laker and wanting to represent them well and wanting to win a championship, that means a lot to me. And just the fact that we were a terrible team, and he just still, like, we weren't set up for him. We just had cap space, and he came. And we had to trade away the kids to get Anthony Davis, which you do again. No disrespect to all of them, I love them, but you had to do it because they won the championship. And to me, that means a lot, that he came and he helped us win. And so I would be okay with him getting a statue. And he's one of the greatest players of all time, so I'd be okay with that. It's a debate show topic, but that's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. And so yeah, we shall see what happens there. So I mentioned Pau Gasol was inducted in the Hall of Fame. He said that he would have had Kobe induct him and be there if Kobe was still here, and that's amazing, because I was listening to Anthony Irwin and Harrison Fagan on the Lakers Lounge, and they were talking about, would he have had Kobe, and he straight up said it, and that means a lot, because he has 2 brothers. He has a brother that played basketball, Marc Gasol, that you think maybe that would be who he would choose, but he would have chosen Kobe because Kobe was a brother to him. They became very close over the years, and now he's shown it in the way since Kobe's been gone, that he's been an uncle to his kids, and a mentor and loving family member. And for Vanessa and the kids, he's been Uncle Pal. So I get it, I see it, and Kobe and Pau were the most perfect combination of player and person to complement one another. Like, Pau was probably the perfect person to pair with Kobe, and so that makes sense. I mean, if it wasn't for Pau coming to the Lakers, he would still be a Hall of Famer, I think, but he wouldn't have those championships, and he wouldn't have that experience and that relationship that he had with Kobe. So that makes a lot of sense. He told Rachel Nichols that in an interview, that he would have had Kobe inducted him, which I thought was just beautiful, man. It's just beautiful. A lot of people have been saying this. The Kamenetsky brothers, Andy Kamenetsky in particular, has been saying how, like, Pau is very selfless type of guy, very selfless superstar, just a beautiful person. And the way he's been ushering, he's been I guess caretaking, like a caretaker of Kobe's legacy and Gigi's legacy. Like, he mentions Gigi and Kobe, and just as a Lakers fan, and as Kobe fan and a Pau fan, just to see the type of person that he continues to be and how it's his moment of him going into the Hall of Fame, and yet he makes sure to thank everyone, give everyone credit that deserves credit, that helped him in his process of becoming a Hall of Famer in his journey. And he gives Kobe credit, and he said, "I wish you and Gigi were here more than anything." And it's just, obviously that's what you do, but I think for him, he takes great honor and pride in being a caretaker of his legacy and continuing to remind people that he loved Kobe and he loved Gigi, and he's grateful for them as people, and he's grateful for Kobe for what he gave him. And he said, "Kobe made me a better leader." And I just thought it was beautiful, man. Really beautiful. Be careful not to choke up here, but this is beautiful. Next, I got on here, a lot of stuff happened, like I said, so let's get through it. So D'Angelo Russell was on the Pat Bev pod. Pat Bev was very Pat Bev, but Pat said D'Lo has high IQ. He deserved $100 million, and he said he didn't like that contract for D'Lo, but even though it's a reasonable contract, he said D'Lo deserves $100 million. It's kind of hard to get a long-term deal considering that the way he was in the playoffs. I think D'Lo is a really good player, but just the moments of missing those shots in the playoffs, it's hard to get a long-term deal. Plus, the Lakers in a situation where Anthony Davis is the only person now that is on contract for a long time. You got LeBron, who knows how much longer he's going to play. He's got one more year on his deal, and who knows how much after that. And Rob Pelinka and the Lakers are big on flexibility in the front office. So having D'Lo on like a 2-year deal, having D'Lo on a 2-year deal provides more flexibility, and it's a tradable contract where it's a pseudo expiring. It has a player option, but it's a little more flexibility. So he wasn't going to get $100 million. It makes sense the way it worked out. But it was obvious that Pat Bev loves D'Lo. And D'Lo didn't fight the money thing. He was like, "I love the weather," you know. But obviously it's hard to disagree with somebody who says you deserve $100 million. Like if somebody said, "You deserve $100 million," I'll be like, "You are so correct." You are 100% correct, buddy. So obviously he's not going to fight that. But he later said, D'Lo said that he doesn't understand why people don't appreciate his game and how he plays combo guard and guard in general. And then Pat Bev said he needs to speak up more and get more technical fouls so that he can get more respect in the league. Maybe more technical fouls for like the refs to respect him, but I would agree maybe D'Lo needs to speak up more. He said he had a podcast. I couldn't find his podcast. I was looking for it. D'Lo was thinking about starting a podcast, he said, but he said it's harder when you're a younger player to do something like that. I think he's still barely like 25 or something crazy. But it's hard when you're a younger player to have a podcast, which makes sense. I think I think the more you're in your industry, no matter what it is, I think you're gonna feel more comfortable with doing things outside the box. And even though podcasts are like, a lot of people have podcasts now that are athletes, it is still something that you have to feel comfortable with who you are in doing that and talking about yourself, or talking about, you know, your life, and you have to feel very comfortable. And so maybe he should come on the limelight more, but I just think with this contract, he's still getting paid really well, but like we saw, people are not getting paid at the same rates if you're not a superstar because of the way the CBA has changed. So I think that impacted it. And also too, when you come up short in big games, like we really needed some D'Lo shooting nights against Denver, and it might have had a different outcome in some of those games. So I think if you're not playing at an elite level, it's gonna hit you. Like, and especially on a playoff team, the Lakers need people to step up in the playoffs. Like Austin Reaves' numbers went up in the playoffs. AD's numbers went up in the playoffs. LeBron's numbers went up in the playoffs. You just need that. You need that type of. And if you want to get paid like a star, you got to play like a star, basically. And D'Lo, one-time All-Star. Not taking nothing from him. It's really hard. He's more like a fringe All-Star player now. So yeah, his contract was very reasonable, I'd just say. But it was interesting to hear him talk, and I will say, I do think he's a lot more mature than when he first entered the league, because time and years, and now he's a father. So shout out to him, and I hope he plays really well. Like, I would love it if he could just stay on the team and play really well and help us win the championship. But if it's not working out and there's another piece out there that's not Kyrie, because I heard that Kyrie's contract matches up with D'Lo and Ruiz, no thank you, I don't want Kyrie. But if there's another player out there that would help us better, because unfortunately that's the business. You want to win, and whatever can get us to win the championship is what I'm about, what I would be interested in. But I'd love it if it was D'Lo, because I think he has a good game. I like that he can shoot threes. I like how he kind of can slowly put guys in jail. And I like him as a person. I love his swag and how he hypes up the crowd. It's a beautiful thing to see. So we'll see how it works out. Next, let's talk about, the USA basketball team is getting ready for the FIBA tournament. They've had some exhibition games. Reaves is averaging double digits. I think it's a great experience for him, and really good players compete for USA. Even in the exhibition rounds, it's not superstars right now, but these are the up-and-coming stars and really good stars. Halliburton was an all-star, stuff like that. And what I love too is that you hear people Brandon Ingram said, the people that know basketball knows that Reaves is good. They know that Reaves is good, is what he said. And Mikal Bridges said, yeah, it's no longer an underdog thing. He's here. This dude is here. Like, he's legit. So I love that you're hearing from. I know it's crazy. I feel like it was a disservice for Reaves. He's getting a lot of publicity on Twitter and stuff, and I think that certain accounts are doing it because he's white. But if you look outside the white gimmick aspect, similar to Caruso is that Reaves can really play. It's not just, oh, this white boy plays basketball. Like, it's not just that. He can actually play. He's a good player, good connecting player. He can shoot now. He can run the offense a little bit. Plays decent defense. He's a good player. And so I love that people like Ingram and Bridges are out there saying that, like, no, he can play, and he's getting along. And, who knows? Maybe some of these guys will come follow Reaves to the Lakers one day. That always helps. Players don't get in trouble for tampering, so that'd be great. But yeah, I just love to hear it because it confirms what we know as Laker fans. It's like when people are mad that he's good, it's like, dude, he's good. Stop hating. Like, it's not just because he's a Laker. He's actually a good player. But it's really silly, but unfortunate for him. But fortunately for him, it's going to be good experience for him to play with all these talented guys, and hopefully USA wins the FIBA tournament. I'll be checking it out. They're still in the exhibition games right now. Excuse me. And so I was on vacation in Big Bear, and then I woke up. I couldn't really sleep one night, the day we were leaving on Monday, the other day. And I woke up to James Harden. So he had already asked for a trade, but I woke up to James Harden. So the Sixers decided to not trade James. And then I wake up seeing that he was in China, and he called Daryl Morey, the GM, a liar. And he said he doesn't want to be a part of an organization with him in it. And so it seems like maybe they made a promise, or a verbal promise, to James Harden about, we'll take care of you, we'll take care of you, long-term extension, and all this stuff. And because now he wants out, right? But it's hard because Harden has been wanting out of everywhere. He wanted out of Houston. After he got everything he wanted out of Brooklyn, which I don't blame him. But, when you have a pattern of acting a certain way, like Houston, everybody was saying he put on a fat suit to look like he wasn't in shape to play, and all this stuff. So if Daryl Morey screwed him over and was lying to him, that's terrible, bad business, right? You don't want that. But also, it's hard to just side with Harden. And I went to high school with Harden. He went to my high school, Artesia High School. I didn't really know him that well, but I saw him a couple times because I played freshman basketball. But it's just not. He hasn't acted professionally at certain spots, so he has a decent amount of respect around the league, but he's not like a LeBron where, highly respected in the way he's professional. Anthony Davis, highly respected in the way he's professional. Damian Lillard, it's not a Damian Lillard situation where Dame has been there the whole time and always been respectful. So if Morey did this to Harden, that's messed up, but also too, it's like, dude, you've cried wolf so many times. So we'll see what happens. I suspect he eventually gets traded, but it's not going to be for a lot for the Clippers. But the Clippers aren't going to give up a lot for him. So we'll see what happens. It's crazy because I believe Daryl Morey had a painting of James Harden because he loved him so much and they were so close. And he played into Morey wanted to play the analytics, and Harden shot a bunch of threes. But the thing is that Harden is a really good regular season player. He still is, but he falls off in the playoffs, and there's been certain times where he hasn't been healthy, and he's been in rough spots. And listen, you go up against the Warriors with KD, that's damn near unstoppable. But for people that are comparing him to Kobe, he just didn't have the same type of career, and is not as good as Kobe. He's not the greatest scorer of all time. I think he's maybe 3 or 4. No, not 3, because top shooting guards. It goes Jordan, Kobe, and I think you got to put. It's just tough in there, I think Jerry West was a shooting guard, and Dwayne Wade's above Harden. So it goes Jordan. It probably was Jordan, Kobe, and Dwayne Wade or Jerry West or something. So Harden's somewhere in their top 5 shooting guards. He's had a great career, but he's just not Kobe. Some of his fans are trying to say he's better than Kobe. He's not. But now he's not even prime Harden anymore. He's a really good player, but he's a headache. And with this new CBA, they're not going to just give every superstar money just because the whole Brinks truck, just because you're good. If you're a headache to deal with and you're not as good as you once were, you're not going to get the type of payday that you were hoping for. So he's done some bad business deals where he should have signed an extension with Brooklyn, and he didn't. So we'll monitor that and see what happens there. But yeah, I hated it. If Morey was shady and a liar, then he's probably going to get fired. If they lose Harden and eventually lose Embiid, then Philly's going to look bad. But I don't blame Embiid if he leaves, but he's got to stay healthy too. He's got to figure out how to stay healthy in the playoffs, because he was the regular season MVP and then got hurt in the playoffs. So yeah, Philly's feeling it right now. No pun intended. Other news, Kobe, it's really cool. There's a lot of Kobe stuff coming out that I'm talking about in this show today. So Kobe's going to be the cover athlete for 2K24. Absolutely love it. He should be, since it's the number 24 and that was Kobe's number. He absolutely should be the cover athlete for NBA 2K. I'm going to buy it probably after it comes out. But very cool. Love it. Also, Sabrina Ionescu is the WNBA cover athlete, and I think she's a great player and she deserves that. But unfortunately, I do agree that unfortunately for her, like, it's good for her, but I do agree. I think Asia Wilson of the Aces should have been the cover athlete before Ionescu, because Asia's accomplished much more already. She's already a champion and MVP. I think she's like 2-time MVP. So Asia Wilson should have been the cover athlete. Hopefully they can fix that for 2K25. But Ionescu is a great player. She's an amazing shooter. She trained with Kobe, so respect to her. But it's just they probably should have picked Asia Wilson first. All right, next I got a Kobe story. So when I scroll through YouTube, sometimes I see these stories pop up from podcasts and things like that. So it was Kobe. So Matt Barnes was telling a story to Iman Shumpert on his All the Smoke podcast. So one time Kobe and Matt Barnes were playing together for the Lakers, and they were on a flight to Spain. And Matt Barnes he saw Kobe in the back of the plane, and he wanted to go sit next to him. And Kobe's just sitting there drawing plays, and he's got like 30 or 40 different basketball courts that he's got on this whiteboard or a notebook, excuse me. And then so Matt Barnes is like asking him like what's happening, like because everybody else probably on the plane is hanging out, sleeping, chilling, eating, watching movies, music, but Kobe of course is like drawing plays up because of course. And Kobe told him, he said, I never look at the person guarding me. I look at the help defense or the second or third guy. And then Shumpert said, yeah, because in his mind, you're already beat. In his mind, you're already beat. Like, he already beat the first man. He's like, you know, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna, like, the defense is collapsing. I'm gonna look at you, Matt. I'm gonna look at Bynum. I'm gonna look at Powell. Like, where are you guys at? Where's Steve Fish? So I was just like, damn, like that the mindset that Kobe had, like he knew how good he was, and he was such a smart player. It was chess, and he's over here. They might as well been 30 or 40 different chessboards. How he's drawing these basketball courts and these plays, and just like the confidence, that Mamba mentality, the confidence that he knew, yeah, like, no, I don't worry about the person in front of me. I'm going to pass that person. Like, it just is very inspiring the way Kobe went about basketball and life, where having confidence in yourself, like people would say that's cockiness, but having that type of confidence in yourself where, no, I already know I'm past this first person. Like, I already know that. I'm thinking about the next step and the next step. This person, that person, who I'm looking at the whole board. I'm looking at the whole court. So it was like just mind blowing. Just like, it's just crazy amount of confidence. And he was that good. He was that dude for like so many years. I mean, up until his Achilles, I think he was the best player in my opinion. I'm biased, but he was damn near close with LeBron in 2013, even for being 35. But yeah, it's just incredible. I love those stories. And I saw a quote that Kobe said today too, and it was just like, it was something about failure. His mind could not process failure. That, you know, basically failure is not going to hold him down. Like, he couldn't process it. Like, okay, so you fail, so what's next? Like, he didn't think about, oh, I'm going to fail, I shouldn't do it. He's like, you just go out there and do it. Don't limit yourself in thinking that you can't do it. And that's that Mamba mentality is why he was so successful. And I think it's very inspirational for me and for a whole generation of kids and adults and basketball players. Just that mindset is very, just believe in yourself and go out and do it. Don't worry about failing. Failures are going to happen, but don't let it stop you. Just go out and do what you set out at your mind to do. And if you fail, so what? Get back up again and do it again. Do it again better. You gotta respect it, man. Say what you want about Kobe, but you gotta respect that. Alright, let's go to WNBA. The Sparks. Man, Sparks are out of it right now. I'm looking at the looking at the standings, excuse me. Um, Regular season standings, the Sparks are like tied right now with the Chicago Sky, so they're close to being a playoff spot. Let's see how they can finish off. They let's see how they can finish off. I mean, not much. There's still some time left in the season, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I would love it if they could stay competitive and get into the playoffs. And again, I'm looking at you, Joel Lloyd, the Gold Mamba. I'm hoping you can join us next year. But yeah, so right now they're tied, and they're losing the tiebreaker with Chicago. So hopefully they can pick up some wins as of late. And the Aces are still way better than everyone else, but it's getting closer with the Liberty. So the last two times they played the Liberty, the two super teams, the Vegas and New York won both times. I think that's going to be the finals, and I thought the Aces would win, but New York has kind of figured something out about the Aces, I think, these last two games. So we'll have to see how that looks in the playoffs. Hopefully it's a finals matchup, because that's epic. Those super teams of like Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Ionescu, Vandersloot versus Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Candace Parker if she comes back, but Chelsea Gray. That's going to be an epic series. I hope it's a final series, because those are the two best teams. Those are the Giants right now, the Giants in the WNBA. So you got the top 8 spots right now: the Aces, the Liberty, the Connecticut Sun, the Dallas Wings, the Atlanta Dream, Minnesota Lynx, Washington Mystics, Chicago Sky, and then the Sparks are right there at 9th. Just like I said, tie with the Sky. So that's how it is right now. Come on, Sparks, get into the playoffs. Let's see some playoff basketball. I'd love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, and excuse me, pardon me. Okay, so some unfortunate news came out of the Aces. So Vegas Aces player Raquana Williams was arrested for domestic violence. The second time she's been violent. Second time she's been in trouble with the league. And she got some sort of suspension. But I was listening to the Queens of the Court pod with Cheryl Swoops and Jordan Robinson, and they were basically saying like it might be time for her to be out of the league, just because domestic violence should not be tolerated. She's already been getting in trouble for it twice. I would agree. You know, it's a privilege to be a professional athlete. It's not a right. And if you're not being a good person at home, then why should you have the privilege of playing basketball for a living? So I mean, hopefully, like I said, I believe in second chances. It's gonna be like a third chance now. I believe in second chances. I hope that she could stop this behavior, but for the meantime, she needs a lengthy suspension, or maybe even be out of the league for a little while. Because it shouldn't be tolerated. No violence of any kind should be tolerated. So that's unfortunate, especially with the Aces being so good. For that to be a part of their story is unfortunate. And I hope Raquana Williams gets better and gets the help that she needs, and that her partner gets the help that she needs as well, as being the victim in this. Also, out of the Aces, so I said Candace Parker healthy, but I forgot about this. Candace Parker is out indefinitely after surgery, and so indefinitely could change, but it sounds like she's not coming back, which is really unfortunate. I love Candace Parker. I was irritated with her when she went to Chicago, but I get it, I get it that she went to her hometown team and she won a championship. I was just irritated because she was a Spark, and she was our player. We drafted her, and she won the championship with us, and I was hoping she stayed. But it's all love. It's all love with Candace. I forgave her. I forgave her. I'm sure it was weighing on her, but just kidding. But I forgave her. And it really sucks. Like, I hope this doesn't end her career. I hope she can come back next year. She's on a 1-year deal with the Aces. I don't see why they wouldn't take her back, but we'll have to monitor that situation and see what happens there. Yeah, so I mentioned that the Liberty had beaten the Aces both times. The first win of the last 2 games that they've played, the Liberty smoked them by like 38, and A'ja Wilson had a really bad game. So yeah, I think the Liberty's figured something out. So what to see? Again, I hope that's the finals matchup. For sure. Brittany Griner took 2 road games off for mental health, and then she returned. Completely understandable. Support her 100%. I think everybody should be able to take mental health days, and especially for her, she went through a lot being in prison in Russia. That was definitely a difficult experience, being away from your family in a foreign country, and so I respect her 100%, and I think that she should take all the time she needs, especially since the team isn't very good this year. I mean, that wouldn't matter with mental health. If you gotta take a break, take a break, depending on whether your job needs you or not. But especially since they're bad, there's no need for her to be rushing herself out there to play if she needs to take some time. And then also out of the Mercury, Skylar Diggins-Smith, she's been taking on maternity leave, and she came out and said that she wasn't able to use the practice facilities while she's been on maternity leave. So that's kind of strange. They've been kind of vague about it, the Mercury. They said we support her, and I guess typically they said something like the players don't typically use the facilities while they're on maternity leave. So I don't know what's going on there. I know at one point she was a really good player, and I know it's got to be really tough to be a professional athlete and a mom, and you're on maternity leave, because I know it's hard. My wife went through it, where when she had our daughter, she didn't, like, having to go back to work while just having a baby is a really tough situation. So I hope that they can figure things out. I don't know if she's going to still be with the Mercury or what's going on there, but it seemed a little sketchy, so I'll kind of follow up with that and see where that lies as time moves on and when she's ready to come back. And then next, so Courtney Williams of the Chicago Sky was on the Queens of the Court pod, and she talked about her confidence and her confidence in herself and her approach to the game and her confidence in Chicago. So Chicago Sky, they're in the 8th spot, like I said, and I don't want them to be. I want the Sparks to be, but she talked about her family and how her family supported her. Her mom was a basketball player, and she broke her mom's record in college, and she's just a really confident person, which I really respect. And she said, watch out for the Sky, and like she was talking about them going to the finals, which I think is ambitious, but when you're a professional athlete at that level, you gotta have high confidence in yourself and your team. So I just thought she was really fun to listen to, really fun interview with her and Jordan Robinson. So wanted to mention that, and how she said, watch out for Chicago, because I don't think anybody has them being in the finals, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. And then, so I mentioned Sabrina Ionescu getting the cover, the athlete cover, and I think it should have been A'ja Wilson. Hopefully it can be next year. But also, Sabrina Ionescu has these new Nikes out, signature shoe, and they're fire. They're dope. They're dope. I would get them if I got some extra money. I would get them. She's got these Nikes in the Oregon Duck colors. Not really my style, because I'm not a huge not an Oregon Ducks fan, but I like green a little bit. But not that much because I'm a Lakers fan. Um, but she has a shoe that says Uncle Phil, and it was like all black with gold, and it's called Uncle Phil, and it says it written on there, and it's an homage to Phil Knight, who's also from Oregon, and I think an Oregon alum, and obviously CEO of Nike. I think he's still CEO. And so it says Uncle Phil, and those are the dopest ones. If I was to buy a pair, I would buy those because they're like all black with the gold Nike, and they look similar to Kobe shoes, which some people were saying they were just Kobe's, but okay, so how's that bad if if Kobe shoes are high selling and they look like Kobe's, so then they're also a good shoe. I don't know, people are weird, but I really think those shoes are dope, and if y'all want to cop some, go ahead. I would, even though she doesn't play for the Sparks, I support it. Go ahead, buy some of those are sick. Alright, so this is going to be the end of part 1, and then stay tuned for part 2 coming out soon. Appreciate y'all listening. Please like and subscribe. Post a comment if you want to talk about any topic whatsoever. Appreciate it. Much love. Peace, and God bless.